Hi guys, I hope you're staying cool. My goodness, it's going to be a hot one this week. I hope that you have some air conditioning or maybe a pool or a sprinkler that you can run through to keep yourself cool this week because it's going to be a scorcher. I know we're going to be hot here in the building at school. We have no AC here, so it's going to be hot, but we'll do it. We'll make it through. So we're going to continue with module 16, or we're going to be beginning a new module, module 16. This will be the last module we will do this school year. We'll do the first 2 lessons this week, the next 2 lessons next week, and then the last week of school, it was just basically catch up and getting all your last minute stuff in so that way I can get everything graded and report card submitted. So we're going to work really hard these next 3 weeks. Hopefully it won't be too difficult with the heat this week. So please have Module 16, Lesson 1 out. Understand multiples of unit fractions. We're going to be multiplying fractions with whole numbers, and we will begin. Okay. Understand multiples of unit fractions. Let me just get this all set up here. Make it easier. There we go. All right, so when you're done, you're going to be able to represent a fraction as the product of a whole number and a unit fraction and as an equation using repeated addition. So when they're talking about product, this means multiplication. Or to multiply, okay? And then a whole number is just any number like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., right? It would just keep going on and on and on. And then when we're talking about unit fractions, we're talking about 1 over and then whatever our bottom number is. So we like 1/4 or 1/6 or 1/10. Those are unit fractions. Anytime there's a 1 as your numerator, that's a 1 unit fraction. So when they're talking about repeated addition, we're just going to, it's basically like when we do repeated addition with multiplication, right? We talk about how it's the same number added that many times. This is going to be the same strategy, the same idea with our fractions, okay, and our multiplication. So we have Cam, and he is training for a running competition. He runs on a track that is 1/8 mile around. Cam wants to run a total of 9/8 miles. How many times around the track should he run? So we know he wants to run a total of 9/8. And we need to think about how one time around, right, is 1/8 of a mile. So we need to figure out how many times around will it give us 9/8. So this is our unknown. This is our mystery. So we need to know how many times around. So if I were to take my 1/8 and I were to add it 2 times, 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 2/8, right? If I add another 8, I will have 3/8. Now I have 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, 9/8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9/8. So remember, when we multiply, it's just repeated addition. So it's the same thing here. How many of these 1/8s did we need to get to 9/8? Well, we needed 9 of them. So it would be 9 times 1/8 equals 9/8. So when we are multiplying a whole number by a fraction, essentially what we're doing is we're saying 9 times our numerator all over our denominator equals the fraction, 9/8. So we're saying 9 times 1/8 equals 9/8. So 9 times 1, that's going to give us our numerator, and then we keep our denominator the same because it's all out of 8s. That has not changed. So he runs around the track 9 times. So when you were learning multiplication in 3rd grade, you learned that it was repeated addition. So that doesn't change. That strategy, that skill does not change when we talk about fractions. So it's going to be the same thing, and this is how we are going to work it. 9 times 1 over 8 equals 9/8. Okay, and we're going to be able to do that with all of our multiplication with our fractions and a whole number. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So a track team uses this sports drink to stay hydrated. If each batch fills 1 jug, how much mix is needed for 1 jug of sports mix, for 2 jugs, for 3 jugs? So we can see that we need 1 pound of sports drink for every batch. So if we were to make 1 batch of sports drink times 1/4 pound, we know anything times 1 is that's the identity property of multiplication, right? So anything times 1 equals itself. So they're going to need 1/4 pound for 1 jug of sports drink. But if they want to do 2 jugs of sports drink, and we know they need 1/4 pound for each one, so remember 2 times 1 over 4, so that's going to equal 2/4. So they're going to need 2/4 pound of drink mix. What if they want 3 jugs? 3 times 1/4 equals 3 times 1 over 4, which is the same as 3/4 pound. So you're multiplying your whole number by your numerator. That becomes your new numerator. And look at your denominator, stays the same. Okay, and we just did the work up there, so we can kind of skip A, B, and C. Number 2. I'm not going to use a number line. I think the strategy that we're learning is going to be okay to figure this problem out, okay? So we're going to skip that part, and we're just going to come down to see where it's writing an addition equation. Well, we won't write the addition, we're just going to write the multiplication equation. Whoops. Oh goodness, just lost my pen. I guess I got to use a different color or a different one. Alrighty, so Vicki trains by running along a trail. The trail has markers every 1/10 mile. Vicki runs by 3 markers and then stops for water at the 4th marker. So we want to know how far she runs before she stops for water. She runs by 3 markers. That means she runs past that many markers. And she stops at the 4th marker. So that means she is going to be running a total of to 4 markers. So our multiplication equation would be 4 times, and it's every 1/10 mile there's a marker. So 4 times 1/10 equals the distance run. So if I do 4 times 1 over 10 equals 4/10. So Vicki runs 4/10 mile before she stops for water. Okay? All right, let's go to check for understanding. So we're going to use the fraction strip to help us complete the equations. So what is the fraction that we are going to be multiplying? We can see that the fraction is 1/6. And how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 1/6 equals 5/6, and we know this to be true because if we add 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, we get 5/6. Write the fraction as the product of a whole number and a unit fraction. So they want us to take this. This is our answer, right? Just like this up here. And they want us to turn it into a multiplication equation. Just like up here. See how we had the answer and we needed to make it a multiplication equation? So if I look right here, my numerator is a 3. So that's my whole number. And remember we talked about a unit fraction is when 1 is in the numerator spot. So this would be 3 times 1/8. 3/8 is our answer. So this would be 3 wholes times 1/8 is the multiplication equation. 9/4. So remember my numerator is my whole number times my fraction. My unit fraction would be 1/4 because it's out of fourths. Over here, 13 is my numerator, so that's my whole number, times 1/10, my unit fraction. Remember, 1 will be my unit, and then you have your denominator. The denominator does not change. So now we're on your own section. You know, you can always do this independently, or you can stay right with me. If you do choose to do it independently, make sure you come back to check your answers and make sure that they are correct. Okay? So again, we're not going to worry about the number line. We're just going to do the math part of it. If the number line will help you, go ahead and fill out the number line and do it. But if you know the equation part of it, then you'll be fine. So Alex runs 7 laps on a track. Each lap is 1/5 mile. How far does he run? So we're just going to stop there. How far does he run? So if he has 7 laps and each lap is 1/5 mile, 7 times 1/5 equals 7/5. Remember, it is 7 times 1 over 5. So 7/5 is our answer. So it would be 7/5 mile. Sorry, should I have an S on the end of that? Yanni is putting fertilizer around trees. She uses 1/3 gallon of fertilizer for each tree. There are 5 trees. How much fertilizer does she use? So again, we're going to just do our multiplication to find the answer. So if she uses 1/3 gallon of fertilizer for every tree, and there are 5 trees, 5 times 1/3 equals 5/3 gallons. And remember how I told you the label is whatever's after the number? In this case, because it's a whole number and a fraction, usually your label will be whatever the fraction is. Okay? Whatever the label is for the fraction is what your label for your answer will be. Alrighty. Fonzie is placing square tiles that are 1/4 yard long to make a path. He places 6 tiles end to end. So we are going to be multiplying to figure out how long the path is. So each tile is 1/4 yard, and there are 6 tiles. 6 times 1/4. Remember, 6 times our numerator, so it would be 6/4, and the label, yards. Okay, and then we're writing our multiplication equation. So our numerator is a 7, so that's my whole number, times 1/8. Numerator is a 3, my whole number is 3, and it's all out of tenths, so times 1/10. Numerator is a 4, times 1/3. And last one, numerator is a 5, times 1/6. Okay? So I hope that one wasn't too terribly difficult to solve doing these. When you do the independent work, again, you do not have to use the number line. If you want to use it, you're more than welcome to if it helps you. I find it ends up being an extra step that is unnecessary and sometimes tricks kids. So that's why I don't really use it. And then you also do not have to do the repeated addition. You can just write the multiplication equation and the answer for any of the word problems. Okay? So instead of writing the multiples or writing the addition, you just have to put your answer down. And then I'm going to have you complete the entire independent work and return it to me by Friday. All right, I hope you have a great week. Again, I hope you stay cool. It's going to be a scorcher. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.